My beloved child, before you rush into another busy day, before you pick up the worries that have been waiting for you since yesterday, before your mind fills itself with questions you cannot answer, I ask you for just a few quiet moments. Stay here with me. Listen with all your heart. There is no need to hurry. There is nowhere else you need to be right now. I know how long you have been carrying burdens that no one else can see. I know how often you smile so others will believe you are strong, while your heart quietly grows tired behind that smile. I know about the nights when sleep would not come because your thoughts refused to be still. I know about the silent prayers you whispered when no one was around to hear them. My child, nothing about your pain has ever been hidden from me. I have seen every tear you wiped away before anyone noticed. I have heard every sigh that never became words. I have stood beside you through every battle, even when you believed you were facing it alone. Today I am not asking you to prove your faith. I am not asking you to become stronger. I am not asking you to solve every problem that is weighing upon your heart. I simply want you to rest here with me for just a little while. Lay down the burdens you have been carrying. Lay down the fears that have followed you for so long. Lay down the questions that have stolen your peace. You were never created to carry every weight by yourself. That is why I am speaking to you now. Not to condemn you, not to remind you of your failures, but to remind you that you have never walked this road alone. Even when you could not feel my presence, I was there. Even when you believed heaven had become silent, I was listening. Even when you thought your strength had reached its end, my hand was still holding yours. So do not let your heart race ahead of this moment. Do not let tomorrow steal the peace I want to give you today. Breathe slowly. Quiet your thoughts. Open your heart. Because what I want to tell you today is not another burden for you to carry. It is an invitation to stop carrying everything by yourself. Come closer, my beloved child. Stay with me, and let me carry what has been hurting your heart for far too long. My beloved child, I know you have become accustomed to saying, "I'm fine," even when your heart is exhausted. You have learned to carry your worries quietly. You have learned to hide your tears behind a smile. You tell yourself that tomorrow will be easier. Yet tomorrow arrives, and the weight is still there. Day after day, you wake up determined to keep going. You fulfill your responsibilities. You care for the people you love. You do everything you can to hold your world together. But very few people see how much strength it has taken just to make it through another day. I see it all. I see the moments when your body keeps moving, but your heart feels weary. I see the questions you never speak aloud. I see the fears you keep locked away because you do not want to burden anyone else. My child, you have carried these burdens for so long that they have begun to feel normal. You have convinced yourself that this is simply how life must be, that you must always be strong, that you must always have the answers, that you cannot afford to slow down. But I never asked you to live that way. I never created you to carry every burden upon your own shoulders. I never intended for fear to become the closest companion. Nor did I ask anxiety to become the voice that greets you each morning. I desire something different for you. I desire that your heart would find rest, not because every problem has disappeared, but because you have finally remembered that you do not walk alone. There have been many moments when you believed you had reached the end of your strength, yet somehow you found enough courage to take one more step. You may have called it determination. You may have called it survival, but I was there, quietly sustaining you when you could no longer sustain yourself. Every breath you took, every door that remained open, every moment when hope unexpectedly returned, my hand was already at work, even though you could not see it. My child, I have never been distant. I have never ignored your cries. Even during the seasons when heaven seemed silent, my love was surrounding you. Silence has never meant absence. Sometimes I hold you most closely when you feel me the least. I know that waiting has tested your heart. I know that unanswered questions have made you wonder if I still remember you. So let me answer that fear today. I remember you completely. I remember every prayer, every hope, every disappointment, every dream you quietly placed before me. Nothing has been forgotten. Nothing has escaped my attention. And neither have you. So stop measuring my love by what you have not yet received. Do not believe that delays mean rejection. Do not mistake quiet seasons for abandonment. I am still writing your story with perfect care. Even now, while you listen to my voice, I am gently teaching your heart to release what it was never meant to carry. You do not have to know every answer today. You do not have to fix every broken situation before the sun goes down. You do not have to carry tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. All I ask is this: stay close to me, walk with me, one step at a time, and allow me to hold the weight that has been exhausting your soul. Because, my beloved child, the journey ahead was never meant to be walked by one pair of hands alone. My beloved child, there is something I want you to remember today. You have never walked through a single moment of your life without my presence. There were days when you could not feel me. There were nights when my voice seemed distant. There were seasons when you wondered if your prayers had simply disappeared into silence. But my silence was never the absence of my love. I have been closer than every breath you have taken. I have remained beside you even when your eyes could not recognize me. Think back to the moments when you believed everything was falling apart. You thought you would never recover. You believed the pain would last forever. Yet somehow, you are still here. You kept moving forward. You found strength you did not know you possessed. My child, that strength did not come from you alone. I was quietly sustaining you. While you worried about tomorrow, I was already waiting there. While you searched for answers, I was already preparing the path beneath your feet. While fear whispered that you would be abandoned, my love continued surrounding you like a shelter you could not yet see. I know there were times when you asked, "Lord, where are you?" I heard every one of those questions. I was never offended by your tears. I was never disappointed by your weakness. I never turned away because you felt discouraged. Instead, I stayed. I watched over you while you slept. I strengthened your heart when it felt ready to give up. I protected you from dangers you never even knew existed. There are countless moments in your life where my hand changed the outcome before you ever realized what could have happened. One day, you will see how many times I carried you when your own strength had completely disappeared. My child, I do not measure your worth by how perfectly you trust me. I do not love you more on the days when your faith feels strong, nor do I love you less when doubt quietly enters your heart. My love has never depended on your performance. It has always flowed from my heart, constant, faithful, unchanging. That is why I continue calling your name today. Not because you have done everything right, but because you are my beloved child. I know how easy it is for you to believe that you must earn my attention. You think that if you pray longer, if you try harder, if you become stronger, then perhaps I will come closer. But listen carefully. I am already here. You are not inviting a distant God into your life. You are opening your heart to the one who has never left. Every sunrise you have seen, every quiet mercy you have received, every unexpected moment of peace, every person who encouraged you exactly when you needed it. They were gentle reminders that I was still walking beside you. Even now, as these words settle into your heart, I want you to stop looking for me only in extraordinary miracles. Find me in the steady breath I have given you. Find me in the strength to rise one more morning. Find me in the peace that slowly begins replacing your fear. Find me in the quiet assurance that you do not have to carry this life by yourself anymore. My beloved child, keep your eyes upon me, not because I have been absent, but because you are finally beginning to see where I have been all along. Trust me again. Walk beside me, and let your heart discover the peace that has been waiting for you in my presence all this time. My beloved child, there is another burden you have been carrying that you may not even recognize anymore. It is the burden of believing that everything depends on you. Somewhere along your journey, you began to feel responsible for holding every piece of your life together. You believed that if you worked harder, if you worried longer, if you planned more carefully, then perhaps nothing would fall apart. But my child, worry has never been the same as wisdom. Fear has never created peace, and carrying the weight of tomorrow has never given anyone the strength they needed for today. I see how often your mind races ahead. Before one problem is finished, You are already thinking about the next. Before one prayer is answered, another fear quietly takes its place. Your heart has become so accustomed to preparing for disappointment that it sometimes struggles to recognize hope when it appears. But I did not create you to live as a prisoner of endless concern. I created you to walk with me. One step, one day, one moment at a time. You often ask me to show you the entire road ahead. Yet if I revealed everything today, your heart would become overwhelmed. So instead, I gently place enough light before you for the next step. Trust is not knowing every detail. Trust is believing that my hand is steady even when your path is not yet clear. My child, you do not have to understand everything in order to follow me. There are seasons when I work quietly beneath the surface. Just because you cannot see change does not mean nothing is happening. Think about a seed buried beneath the soil. For a long time it appears as though nothing has changed. Yet beneath the surface, life is already growing. Roots are reaching deeper. Strength is being formed where no human eye can see. Your life is often like that. While you are asking why everything seems so still, I am strengthening you in ways that will sustain you for years to come. While you are waiting for doors to open, I am preparing you to walk through them with wisdom. While you are asking me to remove every obstacle, I am teaching your heart that my presence is greater than every obstacle you will ever face. My beloved child, stop believing that you must carry every answer before you take another step. Stop believing that peace only comes after every question has been resolved. Peace begins the moment you remember who is walking beside you. I have never asked you to control the future. The future has always rested safely in my hands. I have never asked you to hold together every relationship. I have only asked you to love with sincerity. I have never asked you to guarantee tomorrow. I have only invited you to trust me today. When you release the need to control everything, your heart begins to breathe again. You begin to notice the beauty that anxiety had hidden from you. You begin to hear my voice more clearly because fear is no longer shouting over it. You begin to rest, not because life has become easy, but because you finally remember that I am carrying what has been too heavy for you. So today, do not tighten your grip around the burdens that have been draining your strength. Open your hands, open your heart. Give those worries to me once again. I am not asking you to pretend they do not exist. I am asking you to stop believing that you must face them alone. Walk with me, my child, and with every step we take together, you will discover that the load becomes lighter not because it disappeared overnight, but because you are no longer the one carrying it by yourself. My beloved child, I know why it has been so difficult for you to let go. It is not because you enjoy carrying heavy burdens. It is because you are afraid of what might happen if you stop. You have convinced yourself that if you loosen your grip, everything will fall apart. You worry that the people you love will not be cared for. You fear that opportunities will disappear. You wonder if your life will begin to unravel the moment you stop trying to control every detail. But my child, listen carefully. You have never been the one holding your world together. I have. Before you opened your eyes this morning, I was already watching over you. While you were sleeping, I did not sleep. While your heart was resting, mine continued to watch over every step of your journey. The sun still rose because I commanded it. The earth continued to turn because I sustained it. The breath in your lungs remained because I lovingly gave it to you. If I faithfully care for all of creation, do you truly believe I will forget my own beloved child? You often carry responsibilities that were never yours to bear. You carry the opinions of other people. You carry regrets from years ago. You carry conversations that ended long ago. You replay moments you wish you could change. You imagine countless futures that may never come. And with every unnecessary burden, your heart becomes more tired. Yet I am gently asking you today, what if you trusted me enough to put those burdens down? Not because they are unimportant, but because they are safer in my hands than they have ever been in yours. My child, trust is often quieter than you expect. It does not always look like bold declarations. Sometimes trust is simply choosing not to panic. Sometimes trust is taking one peaceful breath instead of allowing fear to race through your mind. Sometimes trust is closing your eyes at night, knowing that while you sleep, I am still working. You do not have to stay awake to protect tomorrow. You do not have to exhaust yourself trying to solve problems that have not even arrived. Tomorrow is already in my hands, and my hands have never failed you. Think about how many times you expected the worst, yet I quietly made a way. Think about the doors that opened when you thought every door had been closed. Think about the strength that appeared when you believed you had nothing left. Those moments were not accidents. They were reminders that my faithfulness has always been greater than your fears. Even now, I am asking you to release one more burden, not all at once. I know healing is a journey. I know trust grows little by little. So begin with what is in your heart today. Give me the fear that has followed you for so long. Give me the worry that steals your peace before the day even begins. Give me the questions that have no answers yet. You do not need to carry them while you walk beside me, my beloved child. If you stumble, I will steady you. If you grow weary, I will strengthen you. If tears fill your eyes, I will remain beside you until peace returns to your heart. You have spent so much of your life believing that everything depends upon your own strength. But today I want you to discover a different way to live. A life that is not built upon endless striving, but upon quiet confidence in my love. So relax your weary heart, loosen your grip, walk beside me, and let me hold what has always belonged in my hands. My beloved child, I know what your heart has been longing for. You have prayed for your circumstances to change. You have asked for the pain to end. You have hoped that one morning you would wake up and every burden would simply disappear. There is nothing wrong with those prayers. I hear every one of them. But I want to show you something even more precious. Peace does not begin when every problem has been solved. Peace begins when your heart learns that it is safe in my hands. If your peace depended only on perfect circumstances, it would come and go with every disappointment. One difficult conversation could steal it. One unexpected loss could shatter it. One moment of uncertainty could take it away. That is not the peace I desire for you. The peace I give is deeper than circumstances. It remains when answers have not yet arrived. It remains when the road ahead is still unclear. It remains because it is rooted in my presence, not in the changing events of this world. My child, there will always be things you cannot control. There will always be moments when life surprises you. There will always be questions that remain unanswered for a season. But none of those things have the power to separate you from my love. None of them can remove my hand from your life. None of them can stop me from walking beside you. That is why I tell you again. Do not measure my faithfulness by the storms around you. Measure it by my presence within you. Have I not carried you this far? Have I not given you strength when you believed you had none? Have I not comforted you after every season of sorrow? My faithfulness has never depended on whether the skies were clear. I have been faithful in every season. In your victories, I was with you. In your disappointments, I was with you. In the quiet days that seemed ordinary, I was still with you. Even now, while you are listening to my voice, I am surrounding you with a peace that the world cannot explain. You do not have to force this peace. You do not have to earn it. Simply receive it. Let your breathing slow. Let your racing thoughts become quiet. Let your heart rest from trying to predict every outcome. You have spent so much time preparing for what might go wrong. How much different would your days become if you also expected my goodness? What if, instead of expecting disappointment, you remembered my promises? What if, instead of imagining every possible failure, you trusted that I am already preparing what you cannot yet see? My beloved child, hope grows where trust is planted, and trust grows whenever you choose to remain close to me. You do not need to carry tomorrow into today. Today has enough grace for today. Tomorrow will receive its own grace when it arrives. So remain here with me. Do not rush ahead. Do not look back with regret. Stay in this moment where my love is surrounding you. Feel my presence calming the places inside your heart that have been restless for so long. Listen carefully. I am not asking you to ignore your circumstances. I am asking you to see them through my eyes instead of through your fears. Because when you walk beside me, every burden becomes lighter. Not because the journey suddenly becomes easy, but because My strength becomes greater than everything that once made you afraid. So rest, my child, rest in my presence, rest in my promises. And let your heart discover the quiet peace that has been waiting for you all along. My beloved child, before I change what is around you, I often begin by healing what is within you. I know that is not always the answer you hope to hear. You have asked me to remove the mountain. You have prayed for the storm to end. You have waited for every obstacle to disappear. And I will continue to lead you through every season. But first, I want to restore your heart, because a wounded heart will continue to feel afraid even after the storm has passed. A weary heart will continue to search for security even after the burden has become lighter. And a heart that has forgotten my love will struggle to enjoy the blessings that are already before it. That is why I am drawing close to you today, not to point out your weaknesses, but to gently touch the places that have been hurting for so long. I know there are disappointments you never truly released. You learned to live with them. You told yourself that time would make them disappear, yet they remained quietly hidden beneath the surface. I know there are words spoken over your life that still echo in your thoughts, words that made you question your worth, words that convinced you that you were not enough. But my child, those words never came from me. I have never looked at you with condemnation. I have never defined you by your failures. I have never measured your future by your past. When I look at you, I see, my beloved child, I see someone worth loving, someone worth restoring, someone whose story is far from finished. There are also wounds that no one else knows about, moments you rarely speak of, memories that still bring quiet sadness. You smile when others are near, but when you are alone, those memories sometimes return without warning. Do not hide them from me. I already know where they are. I already know how deeply they have affected you. Let me sit beside you there. You do not have to pretend that everything is fine. You do not have to hide your tears in my presence. I am not uncomfortable with your pain. I am not impatient with your healing. I know that some wounds close quickly. Others require time. But I will remain with you through every step. I will never rush the work that love is doing inside your heart. My beloved child, do not become discouraged if healing feels slow. Even the sunrise does not appear all at once. It begins with a small light upon the horizon. Then, little by little, darkness gives way to morning. My work within you is often the same. One peaceful thought replacing an anxious one. One forgiven memory replacing years of bitterness. One quiet moment of trust replacing endless fear. These small changes may seem insignificant, but together they become a new way of living. They become the foundation of a heart that no longer depends on circumstances to feel secure. My peace begins to take root. My love begins to silence old fears. My truth begins to replace the lies you once believed about yourself. And before you realize it, the burden that once seemed impossible to carry no longer has the same power over you. Not because you became stronger by yourself, but because my love has been quietly strengthening you from within. So do not be afraid of this gentle work I am doing in your heart. Do not think that nothing is happening simply because everything feels quiet. Some of my greatest miracles begin in silence. They begin where no one else can see. They begin inside a heart that has finally stopped striving and has simply chosen to rest in my love. Stay close to me, my child. Let me continue this healing. One breath, one prayer, one peaceful step at a time. My beloved child, every day many voices compete for your attention. Some speak loudly. Others whisper so quietly that you hardly notice them. Yet they all shape the way you see yourself, the way you see your future, and the way you see me. I know how often fear tries to speak first. It tells you that you are running out of time. It tells you that you will never change. It reminds you of every mistake you have made. It shows you every reason to give up before you even begin. My child, fear has always been quick to speak, but it has never spoken the truth. It magnifies problems. It hides hope. It convinces weary hearts that they are walking alone. That is why I gently call your name again today, not to compete with those voices, but to remind you which voice has always spoken life over you. Listen to the words I have spoken since the beginning. You are loved. You are seen. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not fighting this battle by yourself. These are not empty promises. They are the foundation upon which I want your heart to rest. I know that sometimes you believe the voice that has repeated itself the longest. If disappointment has spoken to you for years, it begins to sound familiar. If anxiety has followed you every morning, it begins to feel normal. If guilt has lived in your thoughts for a long time, you may even mistake it for your own voice. But my beloved child, familiar does not always mean true. The loudest voice is not always the right one. That is why I invite you to become still. My voice is rarely found in panic. It is not found in endless striving. It is not hidden inside confusion. My voice comes with peace. It comes with gentleness. It comes with quiet assurance that even when you do not understand everything, you are still safely held in my hands. Think about the moments when your heart suddenly became calm without any obvious reason. Think about the unexpected peace that sometimes settled over you in the middle of uncertainty. Think about the quiet strength that helped you take one more step when you believed you had nothing left. Those moments were not accidents. I was reminding your soul that I was near. I was speaking, even if no audible words were heard. My child, the more time you spend with me, the easier it becomes to recognize my voice. Just as a child knows the voice of a loving parent, your heart will begin to recognize mine, not because I have become louder, but because you have become quieter. So do not fill every moment with worry. Do not allow fear to occupy every empty space in your thoughts. Leave room for my peace. Leave room for my promises. Leave room for my love to settle gently upon your heart. There will always be voices trying to pull your attention away from me. Voices that say you are not enough. Voices that tell you your future is hopeless. Voices that insist your burdens are yours alone to carry. But none of those voices know the plans I have prepared for you. None of them know how many times I have already rescued you. None of them can see what I am quietly accomplishing even now. So today, when fear begins to speak, pause, breathe, remember my words. Let my truth become stronger than your doubts. Let my love become louder than your memories. Let my promises become greater than your uncertainty. My beloved child, keep your heart close to mine. The more you listen to me, the lighter your burdens will become, not because every voice around you has become silent, but because my voice has become the one you choose to follow. And my voice will always lead you toward peace. My beloved child, I know there are moments when you wonder if anything is changing. You pray, you wait, you hope. Yet when you look around, everything seems exactly the same. The same responsibilities, the same unanswered questions, the same quiet struggles that greet you each morning. And sometimes you begin to wonder if I have heard you at all. My child, never mistake stillness for inactivity. Just because your eyes cannot see, my hands at work does not mean my hands have stopped moving. I am always working, even in silence, even in waiting, even in the ordinary moments that seem to pass unnoticed. There are countless things I am arranging that you cannot yet understand. I am opening doors that are not ready to be walked through today. I am closing paths that would only lead you into greater pain. I am protecting you from dangers you never knew were approaching. I am preparing conversations that have not yet taken place. I am softening hearts you believe will never change. I am placing people along your path who will encourage you when the right moment arrives. And while I am doing all of this, I am also shaping your own heart, because I care just as much about who you are becoming as I do about where you are going, my beloved child. If I answered every prayer the moment you asked, you might receive what you wanted, but you could miss what you truly needed. My timing is never meant to frustrate you. It is meant to protect you. I see the whole journey. You only see the step before you. I know what waits beyond every turn. You only know what today feels like. That is why I ask you not to lose heart while you are waiting. Waiting is not wasted time when you are walking with me. Waiting is often where trust grows the deepest. It is where your heart slowly learns that my faithfulness does not depend upon visible results. Think about how many times you have looked back and realized that what once felt like a delay was actually my protection. There were opportunities you wished had worked out, relationships you hoped would last, plans you believed would bring happiness. Yet today you can see that I was gently leading you somewhere better. At the time, you did not understand, but I understood. And just as I guided you then, I am guiding you now. So do not become discouraged because everything has not happened yet. Do not allow impatience to steal the peace that I have been planting inside your heart. Every day you continue to trust me. Every prayer you whisper, every step you take in faith is becoming part of a beautiful story that is still unfolding. My child, I have never abandoned a work that I began. I do not grow tired. I do not lose interest in your life. I do not forget the promises I have spoken over you. While you are wondering if anything is happening, I am carefully weaving together details that will one day make perfect sense. Until then, walk with me. Do not demand to see the entire road before taking the next step. Trust the one who has already walked ahead of you. Let today be enough. Let my grace for this moment be enough. Let my presence quiet the questions that have been racing through your mind. My beloved child, there will come a day when you look back on this season and realize that I was never absent. I was preparing. I was protecting. I was providing. I was patiently leading you toward a place where your heart would finally understand why I asked you to wait. So remain close to me. Keep placing your burdens into my hands. Keep walking one peaceful step at a time. And never forget, even when you cannot see me working, my love is already moving ahead of you, making a way where you cannot yet see one. My beloved child, we have walked together through these quiet moments. You have opened your heart. You have listened with patience. And now I want to ask you something very simple. What are you still holding that you no longer need to carry? Perhaps it is a fear that has followed you for years. Perhaps it is a regret that continues to whisper that you should have done things differently. Perhaps it is disappointment. Perhaps it is guilt. Or perhaps it is simply the exhausting belief that everything depends upon you, whatever it is. Bring it to me. You do not have to organize your thoughts before you come. You do not have to find the perfect words. You do not have to hide the parts of your heart that still feel broken. Come exactly as you are. That is how I have always welcomed you. My child, I have never waited for you to become perfect before drawing near to you. I came close because I love you. I remain because I love you. And I will continue walking beside you because my love does not change. There are burdens that have become so familiar that you hardly notice you are carrying them anymore. You wake up with them. You work with them. You lie down at night with them. They have quietly become part of your daily routine, but they were never meant to become part of your identity. You are not your anxiety. You are not your failures. You are not your disappointments. You are not defined by the moments that hurt you. You are my beloved child. That is who you are. Do not allow yesterday to tell you who you will become tomorrow. Do not let old wounds speak louder than my promises. The past may explain some of your pain, but it does not determine your future. My love is writing a new chapter even now. You do not have to understand every page before turning it. Simply trust the one who is holding the pen. My beloved child, there is a quiet freedom that comes when you finally stop trying to carry what belongs in my hands. Freedom is not pretending that life is easy. Freedom is knowing that you no longer face life alone. It is waking each morning with the quiet confidence that whatever this day brings, we will face it together. It is closing your eyes at night without rehearsing every fear about tomorrow. It is breathing deeply because you know, my love has not changed. This is the life I desire for you. Not a life without challenges, but a life where fear no longer rules your heart. A life where my peace has become your resting place. A life where hope quietly returns, even before circumstances begin to change. So today, I invite you once more. Open your hands. Release the burden. Release the fear. Release the need to control every outcome. Release the pain you have carried in silence. Place it all into my hands. I am strong enough to hold what has been too heavy for you. I am faithful enough to carry what you cannot. I am loving enough to remain beside you every step of the way. My child, as you surrender these burdens to me, do not think that you are losing something. You are making room. Room for peace. Room for hope. Room for quiet joy. Room for my presence to fill the places where fear once lived. Stay close to me. Walk with me tomorrow as you have walked with me today. Keep bringing me every burden, every question, every silent prayer. You never have to wonder whether I will welcome you. My arms have always been open. They are open today, and they will still be open every time you come to me. So rest your heart, my beloved child. Leave your burdens here with me, and let my love carry you the rest of the way. My beloved child, as you continue on your journey, I do not want these words to become only a memory. I want them to become the quiet truth your heart returns to whenever life feels heavy again. There will be mornings when you wake up feeling strong. There will also be mornings when your heart feels tired before the day has even begun. On both kinds of days, I will be with you. There will be moments when your faith feels steady, and there will be moments when questions seem louder than hope. Even then, I will not move away from you. My love does not rise and fall with your emotions. It does not become weaker because you are weary. It does not disappear because you have another difficult day. My love remains, just as it always has. My child, when the world asks you to carry more than your heart can bear, remember what I have spoken to you today. You were never created to walk alone. You were never expected to carry every burden by yourself. Every time your thoughts become restless, come to me. Every time fear begins to whisper, listen for my voice instead. Every time your heart grows weary, rest in my presence once again. You will never inconvenience me with your prayers. You will never exhaust my patience. You will never reach a place where my compassion cannot find you. My arms will always remain open. My heart will always welcome you, and my hand will always be stretched toward you. I know there are still questions you carry. I know there are prayers that have not yet been answered in the way you expected. But do not allow unanswered questions to make you forget everything I have already done. Look back with gratitude. You have overcome more than you once believed possible. You have survived seasons that seemed impossible to endure. You have continued walking even when your strength was almost gone. And through every one of those moments, I was beside you. I will be beside you tomorrow. I will be beside you next week. I will be beside you in every season that still lies ahead. My faithfulness is not limited by time. My promises do not fade. My care for you never grows weary. So let your heart become still. Do not hurry. Do not be afraid of what tomorrow may bring. Tomorrow will arrive with new mercies, new strength, new grace. And when tomorrow comes, you will not face it alone. Walk gently, my beloved child. Lift your eyes when they become heavy. Breathe deeply when fear tries to hurry your heart. Keep placing every burden into my hands, one by one. I will never grow tired of carrying what has become too heavy for you. I delight in giving rest to the weary. I delight in strengthening the discouraged. I delight in reminding you, again and again, that you are deeply loved. Never forget who you are. You are my beloved child. You are held by my love. You are surrounded by my presence. You are safe in my hands. And no burden will ever be greater than the love with which I hold you. Rest now. Rest in my peace. Rest in my promises. Rest in the certainty that wherever your path leads, I will already be there, waiting to walk beside you. I love you. Trust me. Amen.